you and I are both involved in the music industry, and I was curious about the two big things that have happened in the last 24 hours. I guess first,
two big terrible things. Shit.
Yeah. I guess to start, what was the first thing that went through your mind when you heard about what happened in Las Vegas?
Oh God. I read it in the morning. I woke up. I have a 3-month-old, and he gets up in the night, and I read it actually while my wife was breastfeeding him. I guess it's probably too much detail, and I was sitting on the toilet, and I read it, and honestly, man, I just burst into tears. I just sort of pretty repulsed by a lot of things in the state of our nation right now. Not that we need to get too political, but you can't wrap my head around the just like the senseless acts of violence that are happening around. I can't understand it. I don't want to understand it. It's just, I don't know. It's just so sad that, especially in America too, it's come to this, that this is sort of a
normalcy.
Are we becoming desensitized to this like horrendous things that are happening? It's awful. I feel like this, dude, this suspect who, I have to call him a suspect, I guess, but this guy who did this, just like, was he just going because he knew a lot of people would be there and he was going to get off, like, taking lives? Like, I think it's fucked up, frankly, and I think that we need to, again, still, for the first time, really, like, really address gun control in this country. This isn't happening in other developed nations. There's plenty of shit going on around that's all awful, but, like, this is America, and
we're supposed to be a beacon.
We've come up, I don't know how old you are, but, like, I'm 36, and I've come up, being shown and taught and then believing and seeing that America is just one of the greatest countries and that we're like a world leader in all these ways. And the ways that we're a world leader right now are ways that I'd rather not be, with that it's just, it's all pretty, it's hard to say much more than it's all just it's disgusting. Yeah. And it's disheartening and it's sad and it's just the senseless taking of innocent lives. There's no explanation or excuse for it.
Well, I'm 32, so I can definitely adhere to what you're saying.
Yeah, you're with me. It's just...
Well, what about as a performer? Because as a music journalist myself, those thoughts never came into my mind of danger until the Bataclan incident.
Right.
About a concert not being a safe place anymore.
Right. I think about those kind of things, and I think that it's happening at concerts, but I think the greater reality is that, like, what is a safe place anymore? It's happening in workplaces, it's happening in schools, it's happening in, transit stations, it's happening at holiday fairs in the streets, it's happening at protests, it's happening. I think it's important for people.
Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now. You were saying it's important to people.
Let me grab... I have a headset, but my phone's kind of fucked up. Let me just come right back to you for a second. Okay. Can you hear me now, though?
Yep, I can hear you.
I can talk while I'm gone. I think it's important as performers, I think it's important, and just as people, to keep doing what we're doing and not let fear of this monstrous bullshit stop us from that. Like, we can't let these kind of instances take away from our ability to enjoy the things we enjoy and create the music that create these experiences. Okay, hold on. I'm going to be quiet for just 1 second as I enter my bedroom to get my headset. All right, you still with me?
Yep. Well, I was saying too, it's
I
like
think it's important just to keep doing what we're doing. I think like for any of us to stop would be the worst of it all.
well, it's like, what are you gonna do? Sit in your house, you know? Like, is that the only? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what am I gonna do? Like, if you're really quote unquote gonna be safe, I guess you're not gonna leave your house, you know? But
yeah, we just like to live in fear is like for these assholes to have won. You know, I think that we're seeing a lot of that too. I think where, you know, people are, after these things happen, you know, the Eagles of Death Metal, they returned to Paris and they played again. Can you hear me now? I just put my headset on.
Yep.
Okay. And I think it's important just to go on and to keep doing it and show these terrorists, these people who are just killing for no reason, that they can't stop that human spirit. It's the same spirit that brings people together for live music in the first place.
Yeah.
Is like, you can't, if they take that, then, you know, it's much worse, much more dire of an outlet.
Of course, you know, the biggest common ground in the universe is music, you know.
Yeah, it's all just awful. It affects all of us, and then the people just like the people who have lost their family members and their loved ones in these kind of events. It's just so pointless. It's just so senseless. You know, it's not an accident that can be controlled. It's not illness. It's not even war. It's just such a waste. Yeah. And it breaks my heart.
On the other side of things, we also lost one of the pillars of American music last night.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That happened fast.
Yeah. I mean, he just finished that huge tour last week. I don't know.
Did he?
Yeah, well, it was the 40th anniversary tour, and literally the last show was last Monday at the Hollywood Bowl. And I wanted to know your thoughts and remembrances of Tom Petty's impact on yourself, perhaps.
You know, Tom Petty's one of those guys that you can't not be affected by. Like, there wasn't, like, I mean, like, how many songs? Like, you don't have to try to listen to Tom Petty to know, like, a ton of Tom Petty songs.
Yeah. He's always been there.
He's always been there. He's always been such a staple in American music. Like, I never, like, went through a phase musically where I was listening to, like, a ton of Tom Petty records or anything like that, but I love a ton of Tom Petty songs, you know what I mean? Because we all know him. He's there. I never got to see him live, which is unfortunate now, because I know, from what I've heard, it's amazing, and he's just one of those iconic sort of performers that this should always be on your list. Yeah, but he's going to be missed. My band Greensky plays a Traveling Wilburys song.
Nice.
I think that's going to take on some, you know, a little more weight as we continue to play that, and, you know, the coming shows. And yeah, it's another great loss. We've seen a lot of them go this year, and yeah, it's not, music's not going to be the same, and America's not going to be the same without Tom Petty. He sort of embodies a sort of like all Americanness.
Yeah. What Traveling Wilburys song do you guys play?
Handle with Care.
Nice. Well, I guess on a positive turn, what's the landscape of Greensky look like right now in 2017?
How do you mean?
I mean, the band itself, it seems it's always been on its own trajectory. It just seems, from my perspective, things are just getting bigger and bigger. Where do you see it going right now? I mean, you guys come and play Asheville, and it's an arena show with Humphreys every year, and it's just a zoo.
Yeah, the Humphreys thing was fun, for certain. But can you hold on for just 1 second?
Yep.
Sorry, my kiddos. You want me to hold them? Okay. Let me take it. Just knock when you do. The Humphreys thing was fun. Not sort of our normal Greensky thing in Asheville. We have an interesting relationship with those Humphreys guys. We have like the bond of all being from the Midwest, and somehow I think we sort of fill a space in bluegrass, there's sort of a similar space in bluegrass that they tend to like fill in like the rest of the jam band world. I don't know, a sense of aggression maybe, or a lot of volume. I don't know, but we make a sort of an interesting bill with them, I think, because we're, you know, it's not like, for Humphreys, I think it's that we're not like a junior Humphreys kind of band. Like, we're not a band who's really trying to do what they're trying to do, you know? So I think it's different enough that it makes for a sort of a non-competitive sort of environment.
Well, it's definitely...